Welcome to the CarSys Garage Management System workshop demonstration. So first of all, to get started, you're going to need to log into the dashboard. Now we're now going to take you through a typical workshop demonstration, which should last approximately 30 minutes. Now in this demo, we're going to teach you how to create a work order or quote, create a customer and vehicle account, book the job into the workshop diary, and finally create an invoice. Okay, so let's get started. You should have logged into your demo account and be looking at your dashboard screen as shown right now. Now, I would suggest that you explain to the customer that you are going to take them through creating a quote as if a brand new customer had called them for the first time, asking for the price on a service and when this could be done. So first of all, enter the vehicle registration number into the main search box at the top of the page. Now, while you're actually typing, the system begins to look for the vehicle straight away. In fact, there is no search button as such. It simply finds the vehicle once you start typing the vehicle registration number. Now, bear in mind that depending on the speed of your or your customer's internet connection, it may take a few seconds for the vehicle details to appear. Now, like any demonstration, make sure that you are using a vehicle registration number that you are familiar with and have practiced beforehand. In a demo, we don't want any surprises. Now, once the vehicle displays, click on the green Select Vehicle button to confirm, and you are then taken to the vehicle page. Next, click on the blue square button in the center with the spanner and the car image on it, and this is the Create Work Order button. Now, if at this stage a further vehicle selection is required, like vehicle type, the options will appear on this screen. Simply click the correct vehicle type and close this window. You should now be taken to the Create Work Order page. Now take a minute or so to check what's available here. Ultimately, it's all about speed and the ability to create a work order or quote as quickly as possible. Now, most of these options can in fact be selected at a later time. In this demonstration, we want to book an MOT, add a service, and also select front brake pads. So at the top of the page, you should see the list of activities created during setup, and hopefully one of those is Class 4 MOT test. Click on this to get started, and you should then see a pop-up confirmation message stating that you have added a new activity. To further confirm this, your MOT activity now appears in a new table right at the bottom of your page. Now you have two options here to select the required service. You can enter the vehicle mileage and year of manufacture, and if you choose this option, the system will use Haynes Pro data along with your mileage and year of manufacture and suggest the required service schedule. Alternatively, if you want to see a list of all the service schedules available, do not enter the mileage and year of manufacture info. For our demo, we're going to be entering the mileage and year of manufacture. Now, once you've entered this info, the system will now filter the results, and you should now see the recommended service schedule. Please bear in mind that this selection is based on a combination of both your mileage and the year of the vehicle. Don't naturally presume that, for example, by entering 45,000 miles, that it will select the 45,000 or nearest service schedule. The older the vehicle is, the more likely the recommendation will be for a higher mileage schedule. Click on the green plus button to add the service schedule to your work order alongside the previously selected MOT. Now, depending on your vehicle selection, the system will add a list of parts required for your service. You may need to scroll to the bottom of the page to see this. It will also display a list of potential additional work that may be carried out for this service. Press the green plus button to add any further work. I'm going to select Renew Timing Belt to demonstrate this. Any additional work selected will appear in the same table as the service parts and MOT at the bottom of the page. This you should be able to see on the screen right now. Click on the Repair Time tab this time. You will see a search box and a list of the top 5 categories. Begin typing brake pads and the list will be filtered to show brakes mechanical. Click here and you should now see brake pad listed. Click on brake pad and you'll be presented with a list of brake pad repair types. We are going to select the first one, Renew the Front Brake Pads, by clicking on the green square plus button. The system will now add all parts required to complete the job, renew front brake pads, and in the example I've used, it has added both the brake pad set and wear indicator. Now you have probably worked out at this point that you can in fact delete any of the lines in the table if not required by clicking on the red delete button. All your selected repairs and parts are now transferred onto the work order page. You will see the current invoice total. However, this only represents the labour part of the order currently. We now need to add all of the parts pricing. To do this, click on the first part in your list using the trolley stroke plus button, add part from supplier basically. And in my case, this is engine oil. Now this will launch the parts catalogue. You can filter your brand and pack sizes on the left of the screen, and I'm going to select QQX and then add the 5 litre size. The work order has now been updated with the oil price, and you can also see a van icon under the heading status. This is telling us that we have not yet ordered the part, which we will come to in a moment. We now need to work our way through the work order and add in the additional parts. Next for me is the oil filter, followed by the pollen filter. So let's go ahead and add those. I now need to add the timing belts, and as you can see, I in fact have 2 entries in the work order currently. One represents just the timing belt and the other the timing belt kit, including of course the pulleys. I'm going to select the kit, which is the second option. Once you have selected the part, simply delete the timing belt only line by clicking on the square red delete button against that line on the right hand side. You will see a delete confirmation window. Press yes to confirm. Finally, we need to add our brake pads. Select your preferred brand and add to the work order. Now for this vehicle, it has also added an entry for wear indicator. The system will do this by default, and if you don't intend on replacing them, just like the timing belt, we can delete this line. Currently, our invoice total is just £627.96. Now to review the invoice, click on the actual sales total. This will show an overlay window breaking down labour, parts and VAT. Simply click again to close. You can also edit the price of any line on the invoice, especially if the customer on the phone is not happy with your quote. For instance, the workshop may offer the MOT for free if the customer chooses to have a service at the same time. So to make this change, click on the green pencil button on the same line as MOT. First, click the locked checkbox to switch on editing, then change the price to 0 and press the green done button. The work order has selected the default labour rate for all jobs shown. However, we can change this. Click the green pencil button on the same line as service, and in the bottom left-hand corner, change the labour rate from mechanical to service and press save and close when complete. Now, if we continue along the lines that we have a customer on the phone, and even though they seem happy with the quote, right now they are not prepared to commit. Therefore, our next step is to capture their details and automatically send them an email quotation. First of all, on the walk-in drop-down in the top right-hand corner, select Choose a different relation. We now need to create a new customer account, so click on Add Account, then complete the following fields as a minimum on the General tab. That's last name, first name, title, email address, mobile number, and then click on the green Save button when complete. You will then be taken back to the work order page, and in the top right-hand corner, you can now see the new relation associated with this work order. To send an email quote to the customer we have just created, click on the Send drop-down and select Email Quotation. You should then see a confirmation pop-up appear in the bottom right-hand corner. An envelope symbol has also appeared in the first column of the work order under the heading All. At this point, the customer receives an email notification, and when clicked on, takes them to a dedicated quote page online within the CarSys system. Now, this is something very cool. Here, the customer can accept or decline each job in the quotation, and there is of course an accept all, or heaven forbid, a decline all option. Now, in our example, I'm going to accept everything other than the timing belt replacement, and that, as you can see, has reduced the quote from £365.38 down to £174.07. Now, within the quote page, the customer can also propose a fitting date and time. Click on Send Proposal when complete. Now, let's go back to the work order page, and we need to refresh this in order to see the updated quote. So you can do this in the usual way, either by right-clicking on the work order page and select Reload in Chrome, or Refresh in Internet Explorer. Now, you can now see that the total quote price has changed, and we also have some green thumbs up symbols against the accepted repairs and a red thumbs down for the timing belt repair that was rejected. We now need to approve the customer's proposed repair time, so click on Dashboard on the left, and on the right-hand side of the screen, you should see all the accepted and rejected jobs along with the proposed appointments. Click on Accept Proposal, which is the small tick in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen next to the listed work order. Next, click on Calendar on the left-hand menu, and you will see your booked appointment. It's also worth pointing out that the customer quote page would have also been updated and now shows that their appointment has been confirmed. Double-click on the appointment to reopen the work order. Now, there's one very important task that we need to complete, and that is, of course, to place the parts order. Now, you can see on the screen that we have 4 parts. This is shown by the 4 trucks under the heading Status, and also by the orange circled number 4 next to the Order Parts button. So let's go ahead and click on the Order Parts button. Now, on this page, you can make any final changes to the parts being ordered, and once you are happy to continue, click on the Next Step green button. On this page, you can add an order number and any additional comments, and once you have your parts order ready, click on the green Order Parts button. You should see a green confirmation window in the bottom right-hand corner, and your black parts trucks on the work order will have turned into green parts trucks. That means that your order has been successfully placed. Now, to clean up the work order, we should now delete the timing belt replacement that the customer declined. So click on Delete Line on the right-hand side of the timing belt line. And before we finalize the work order and create an invoice, it's worth showing the customer a few other cool things at this stage during your demo. Now, first of all, as we have included a service within our work order, we can display a Haynes Pro service checklist, effectively a step-by-step guide to our 45,000 mile service for this vehicle. Click on Work Order drop-down in the top left-hand corner and select Checklist Haynes Pro. This can be easily printed off for the technician to follow by clicking on the Print Checklist button. In fact, the checklist can be edited live on screen and comments can be saved against each line for future records if required. There is also various technical data available from within the work order for this specific model. If you click on the vehicle information drop-down just underneath the vehicle registration number on the top left-hand corner of the work order and select the first option, Technical Info. This will display a very comprehensive list of information for the specific model. If you go back to the same vehicle information drop-down, you can access further detailed technical data by selecting Manuals. The third option on the drop-down is called Fluid Lookup. This is a really useful quick access to all the fluid levels, types, quantities, and locations where applicable. Haynes Pro service data is a fast access to the complete set of service schedules for this model. This is the same menu we selected our 45,000 mile service from during the work order setup. And the final option on the vehicle information drop-down menu is MOT history. This, I think, is one of the best pieces of information available within the CarSys Garage Management System. It shows a complete MOT history of the vehicle, including pass and fail results, why the vehicle failed, and even any advisory notes written down by the MOT inspector. Now, as part of your demo, we want to show the customer how to create an invoice from the work order. So on the right-hand side of the work order headings, click on the Create Invoice button. Okay, so we've got a couple of warnings here. One, because we have not entered the vehicle mileage, and the other, because we have not finalized the service checklist. So let's go and fix both of those. Enter the mileage in the mileage box at the top of the work order page and click on the green Save button. Your work order page should be updated automatically and the mileage warning will have disappeared. To finalize the service checklist, we need to go back to the work order page. So click on Work Order and then on the work order drop-down and select Checklist Haynes Pro. Next, click on the Finish Checklist green button, then Confirm on the warning message. Your checklist icons should now all be grayed out. Return to the work order page and select Create Invoice once again. Both warnings have now disappeared and you can see a preview of the invoice. If you then click on the plus symbol or Print Preview, you can take a closer look. Now, to finalize this invoice, click on the Finish Invoice button and you will see a warning message telling you that once you complete the work order, you will no longer be able to edit it. Click Confirm to finalize the invoice. And the final screen gives you an option to email the invoice to the customer using the stored email address. The invoice can also be credited from this screen. Finally, going back to the dashboard, you can see that this work order is no longer available either in the calendar view or in the work order view. Now the invoice can still be accessed from invoice history. This can be seen by clicking on the history menu on the bottom left of the screen and selecting invoice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our CarSys Garage Management System quote demonstration. Thank you very much for listening, and I will catch you all again very soon.